Previously on You Can't Disappoint a Podcast.
Well, thanks, man. It's awesome to talk to you.
And I'll come on your podcast sometime.
Hey, yeah, we'll try to pencil you in if we have the opening. I can't promise anything, but we'll try.
Well, please make room. Please.
And now, You Can't Disappoint a Podcast. Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for pressing play on another episode of You Can't Disappoint a Podcast. Before we get started today, let's just talk about a couple of the things that we have set up for you guys.
Yeah, guys, feel free to send us your trivia, your favorite funny moment, and your MVP from next week's episode over to can'tdisappointpodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you guys and have you stump us on some trivia.
For the full Zach and Steven experience, you can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram at Can't Disappoint Podcast, and Twitter at You Can't Disappoint for all of the fun shenanigans we get into off pod every week.
Wax on, wax off pod.
We're really thankful that you guys are listening to us, and I promise to keep whatever that was to a minimum. Now, I say let's kick off this week's podcast. What do you say, Steven?
Blue Skidoo Weekend 2, Zach. Let's dive in.
All right.
Oh, God. Glad we did 2 takes, Zach. You had a lot to work with there.
All right, everyone. Welcome to literally the biggest moment of You Can't Disappoint a Podcast yet. Do you agree with that, Steven? Is that right?
I don't know. I think when we played that Watson song, that was pretty major.
Yeah, the Ben Watson song was close to it. But today is a moment for this podcast that I did not expect to really ever happen, thinking that this would be a thing that we do in 2.5 years. I didn't know what that would facilitate. But today we have a full interview with Jeff Winger himself, Joel McHale.
Yeah, I'm so excited. We friend of the show, he's been trying to get on for a long time. We finally said, you know what, we're free this day. We'll give you some time.
It's truly insane, isn't it, that we decided that Community was a show we could talk about every week, and now we're talking to some of the people that did it.
Yeah.
Isn't that insane? Isn't it so hard to believe?
It's baller. It's a dream come true.
And I think you guys are really going to appreciate that the interview that you're about to hear was chaotic. Would you agree that it was chaotic?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, we'll tell the story a little bit later after the interview, but basically, I don't know.
Let's get
into
into it.
If I want to spoil
yeah,
it.
You don't need to do all that.
Before we get it's very chaotic, I guess is all I'll say before it. Before we get into it, though, we do have another big announcement. It's time, everyone. The time has finally come. You Can't Disappoint a Podcast is selling out, and we're so happy to be doing it. We've got some big news, and we decided in true sellout fashion that this Joel McHale episode is a great opportunity to tell you guys about the ways that you will soon be able to give us money. Steven's got to eat. Look at him. He's a skinny boy.
I'm losing weight every day.
He's clearly
grams at a time.
Homeless, and he's just got a green screen and a microphone against his dumpster. We need to get this boy fed and housed. He keeps saying stuff about being a dancer in Chicago, but come on.
It's on the streets.
So anyway, what we're doing is February 1st, 2021, we are launching a Patreon, and we're really excited about it. Doing this show has quickly developed from us doing something as buds to we interviewed Joel McHale today. So it's time to move it forward, I think, and doing a Patreon and asking you guys for some support through that is going to be a way to up our sound quality. We're going to do all kinds of exclusive content on it. That'll all be announced very, very soon. It's going to be really exciting. There are all kinds of levels and all kinds of things you can get that go as far as exclusive podcasts we'll be doing, to getting to hang out one-on-one with me and Steven, or getting to influence the show, getting shout-outs on the show, hanging out with us, doing game nights. There's a lot of stuff that we're going to have going, and it's going to be really exciting. But even more exciting is we're doing something sooner than that that's free. Aren't we, Steven?
We are. We, for basically a whole month, are going to be giving you a little special treat before we record every week in the form of some live streams. We're going to play games. We're going to talk about stuff. We're going to We're gonna really just break it down, have a cool, sexy time.
Yeah, starting next week, Thursday, January 7th, every Thursday, a half hour before we record the podcast, it's going to be at 12:30 p.m. Eastern every Thursday. We're going to be airing what we call You Can't Diss a Pre-Show with Zach and Steven, a weekly extra little bit of hanging out with us. And for the 4 Thursdays in January, it's going to be totally free, streamed across all our platforms. Steven's mom is going to be a guest on the first one.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be playing some Among Us on some of them. We've talked about maybe diving deep into Steven and I's friendship throughout the years and how we got to the point we're at today. It's just going to be a really fun, quick, off-the-cuff hangout with us every week. And like I said, every Thursday in January, it's going to be free. But then we're going to pry cold hard cash out of your dead hands. Starting the first Thursday in February, it's going to be the flagship of our Patreon every Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. Before we record the podcast, we're going to go live for our patrons.
Woo-woo.
And talk about whatever. It'll be a lot of fun. So
Yeah, I'm
more
super excited.
Information on that in the weeks ahead. We'll see you next Thursday. Or this Thursday when this comes out. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're recording this in a vacuum of time, so the calendar is vague. But Thursday, January 7th, be there, 12:30 Eastern, to hang out with me, Steven, and Steven's mom to finally address all of her qualms on our show, what she disagrees with us on.
Yeah, she's gonna air some grievances.
Absolutely. So next week, that'll all be happening. The free show, You Can't Disappoint a Podcast, isn't going to change. It's still going to be out every week, going through every episode of Community. And next Monday, we'll be back with our review of Messianic myths and ancient peoples. Send us in your trivia, MVP, all that stuff to where, Steven, is that?
Well, they can DM us at youcan'tdissapod at twitter.com. The website, or they can email us at can'tdisappointpodcast at gmail.com, the
Yes, very
email portal.
Now, I think the people want to hear it. I want to hear it. Let's hear
Yeah,
our
without further
conversation
ado.
that we just had with Joel McHale,
A
otherwise known
fireside
as
chat.
The Soup.
Yeah, with Mr. Campbell himself, host of The Soup, star of film and screen, Joel McHale.
This just feels right. Press play.
Click.
Yeah, go ahead, record it. What are you doing? There we go.
We
now
just
we're
wanted
recording.
to hang out. Now we're recording.
So,
this is insane.
Steven,
Showtime.
you're in Chicago and Zach, you're in Indiana.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you're already taking this over. This you're
Yeah.
driving this bus.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you for
Welcome
having
to
us,
my
Joel.
world.
We're happy
Yeah.
to be here.
Yeah, we're both from the same town, and then Steven got out, and I'm still here, unfortunately.
Why
I
didn't
did.
you just get in the car with Steven?
I should have.
There was no room. There was too much anime shit. Priorities.
Do you have a car, Zach?
Yes, of course I have a car.
All right, well then let's go to Chicago. Come on.
Okay,
man.
so how are we gonna meet halfway and then go to Chicago, or?
Well, halfway for me is, I don't know, somewhere at the edge of Montana for you. So,
So I'll start headed
or I
that
guess
way.
it would be, yeah, maybe Iowa we can meet in.
There we go.
It's
Yeah,
so
that's the move.
exciting to talk to you.
It
You know,
really is.
Steven and I, our high school friendship like revolved around community, and
Wow.
podcasting about it has been a thing that's, you know, we live in different states, we don't talk or hang out like we should, and now we get to do this together. And we were just reflecting before you came in how not that long ago we were in high school, like talking about the episode of Community last night, and now you're here. You're a real person. You're not just someone on TV.
That is not true. But
Oh,
go
yeah.
ahead. I am not real.
I knew
part
it.
Robot. I have been rebuilt. I have super strength, but I'm still searching for my real parents.
Very modest. Very modest.
Nice.
It's
And my
super
and my
exciting.
maker, as I like to say.
May.
Um,
Aren't we all?
So
Here we
it's
are.
a couple days from Christmas that we're talking right now, which is crazy.
Yes, it is.
Are you still getting prepared for the holiday? Are you excited? Is it going to be weird this year?
No, not at all. Why would it be weird?
I don't know. Well, I live in Indiana, so I haven't heard if anything's going on. Is there something I should be concerned about?
Oh, yeah.
Me and like 60 of my closest friends are going to meet at the movie theater.
Yeah,
It'll be really
a lot
fun.
has happened this year. Tom Cruise is upset. That's a big story.
Wow.
Oh no!
Wow. Oh, no. Is he going to
Yeah.
be okay?
I don't know. I think so. Am I
Larger
still getting
couches.
prepared for Christmas? Yes, I guess I am. Yes, there's packages arriving from Amazon every 10 minutes. And yeah,
Relatable.
no, but we're not going anywhere because I'm
Sure.
getting, Ken and I are doing that special on New Year's. So it's not like I could like, hey, let's go travel around and Just hang out in airports. That's not happening.
Well, I was so curious about that because I always wonder specials like that. Have you done it already, or is it live?
We did it last year.
You did it last year.
We
You just shelved it.
recorded 2020s to 2021s back in there. I don't know why.
That makes sense.
No, we have not recorded it, and it's going to be live. So I guess it'll be live to tape. So it'll be live on the East Coast, and then they'll just rerun the thing on.
That's awesome. So you get to count down into the new year. That's like that's massive. That's really cool.
Well, I'm not going to do the countdown. It's against my beliefs to
That's
count
fair.
numbers backwards.
Sure.
So.
Are they still having Dick Clark do it? Are they able to get him back?
Wow. They have the new Dick Clark, Ryan Seacrest, and he's fantastic. Okay. So if you want a really good show, go watch him.
Okay, so
thank you.
If you need to tap out from yours, you guys could just switch and
be like, let's go. Let's see what Ryan's doing.
Are you gonna do like a not Freaky Friday, a Parent Trap type thing? You guys gonna trade?
Oh, it's not a bad idea.
That's smart.
Okay, deal. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All of a sudden, Ken will be hosting with Ryan. He'd be like,
just put some lifts in his shoes. You'll be fine.
Is Joel short all of a sudden?
The self-deprecating banter would probably go differently. It would probably change.
Probably. I don't know, Joel. It's pretty insulting. I don't know how to take that other than just shedding a tear right now, Joel. Yeah,
that was almost more Regis. I heard Regis filled in that.
Well, they are one and the same. They body swap. Oh, Regis. I love Regis. And I miss him.
Yeah. Yeah. That was this year too, wasn't it? So many things this year.
Shitty year.
You can't keep track.
Are you hopeful about next year?
In that there won't be a pandemic?
No, that I don't know that things are going to feel good at all again. You know, Joel, am I going to be allowed to be happy again next year? That's what I want you to tell me.
I don't know. You're in Indiana, so
yeah.
Outlook not so good.
I guess maybe if you go to Notre Dame or something.
I sure don't.
Not in that apartment. I call that the terrorist apartment. You it's just a room you rent, mix chemicals and break into the internet. And so what am I saying? Yes, I think the year will be definitely better. It won't be this, and it's going to take a while for these vaccines to roll out, but once they get going, it'll be terrific. And there's going to be another vaccine here probably in a month or two, so the Johnson & Johnson one. So that's going to be great. And there should have been a stimulus should have been passed 6 months ago. And it's a crime. And I can't believe it took this long, and it's really stupid. And $600 a month is not enough.
I believe that things will be starting to get a little bit better almost exactly a month from now. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. That's your prediction.
I hope. I don't know. Don't quote me on that.
Well,
Zach has spoken. It's on
what happens in a month, Zach?
Oh my gosh. I think you're going to book a really huge Christopher Nolan film.
Oh, how does that help the country?
I think you answered your own question there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you won't be.
Great.
That's great. Yeah, sure.
I was thinking more about, opening up economies.
There will be vaccines, but no one's going to be willing to take them. So that's kind of a hurdle,
Yeah. Hey, idiots not willing to take it. You're idiot.
A lot of, so like none of our Indiana friends and family listen to this podcast, but they will because you're on it. And so they'll all be the people that are maybe impressionable, that maybe might do it if you say to do it.
Hey, dummies, take the vaccine. You took your measles vaccine. You didn't get measles, so take the vaccine.
That's awesome.
There you go. That's the public service announcement that you can use to sell the show.
Have you been back on a lot of sets? Has it been weird?
No, I have not. I shot Card Sharks back in July. That was one of the first things being shot, and it worked. And people were well distanced and zoned. We actually had a scare where there was a positive test, but it turned out to be a false positive. But the system worked. And then I shot. Then I did like the Masked Singer, and I did Masked Dance. No, not Masked Dancer. I Can See Your Voice, but I also did a movie during the time, and I shot Stargirl. So those were all really well run, and
that's awesome.
Like on the movie, it's a Kristen Bell Vince Vaughn movie, and
Ooh.
Are they just as lovely as I hope they are? Is Kristen Bell the nicest person in the world? Perhaps.
pretty nice. She's great, and Dax Shepard, her husband, is also equally great. And I've known them for a while, so it was lovely to work with her. She's great and so funny and talented and kind of scarily so. And Vince Vaughn was great. He was super nice. We are the same size, which doesn't happen very much.
Oh yeah, you're very tall.
Yeah, I was
you?
gonna say you gotta be tall too.
I'm pretty short. Are you?
How tall are you, Zach?
On a good day, like 5'7".
All right, Steven?
I'm like 6 foot and 3/4.
Okay, so you're 5'11". That's great.
You're like in the 6'4" range, aren't you?
I am 6'4". Yes.
Because you had to be tall enough to be Chevy, and Chevy is a very tall man.
He's exactly the same height. Yeah. Well transitioned, Zachary Pruitt.
Thanks.
Nice.
Wow.
Done.
Would
Well,
Chevy
was-
give you a hard time about that? Would he be like, "Oh, you're like half an inch shorter than me"? Did he want to be the tallest?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It is weird. I mean, even when I'm around people that are taller than me, it's not. It doesn't happen that. I mean, there's lots of taller people, but I don't really have many friends that are 6'8" or something. Where I'm like, wow, you really? Because everyone knows the difference between 6'4" and 6'6" is like a lot.
Sure.
Mhm.
Because your arms are that much longer and your legs are that much longer and your fingers are big. You know, everything's just bigger. And so it is weird when like I got a close friend. He's 6'7". He lives up in Seattle. His name
Wow.
is Scott Didrikson. He played for the University of Washington basketball team. But
Nice.
when you get it's always like, oh, I'm standing up even straighter now. Anyway, going back.
That's how everyone else
The
feels whenever
protocols on
they're
set
around
were
you.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like they got to
No.
stand up straight.
My wife's 5'7", so you guys would, yeah.
Here you
My
go.
kid- my
Not as tall
15-year-old
as your
now.
wife. Yeah.
Yeah, my 15-year-old's like 5'9" now, so sorry.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. Well, I'm glad that sets have been safe. I'm sure there's got to be some anxiety with it.
Yeah.
But it's so great to have new content.
It is because sets are getting shut down a lot, but they've done a good job in the shutdown. They've have ways to not work around it, but to to take those breaks properly without just like, well, that's the end of that, because so much money is being spent that that things have to keep going if you're in production. So they've done a really nice job, and the protocols are bananas. So there's rapid tests. I've taken like 70 tests.
Wow. So do you feel a little more secure then? Are you having less like, oh, maybe this tickle in my throat is COVID now that you're getting tested all the time?
Yeah, it's funny. Whenever you feel anything, you're like, oh, do I have it?
Here it comes.
And then I'm like, oh no, I'm just hungover. Great. Yeah, no, I'm very, it's weird. I usually get a cold and I have not gotten one. And I think it's just because the lack of interaction. And
Sure.
so that's a weird fringe benefit, but
Yeah.
I would much rather get a cold than have the pandemic. So that's been good. So I've gone on sets and will be very vigilant. Ken is as vigilant as you'll ever meet. So
That's amazing. I loved your podcast when it was still so early in the pandemic, and being where I am from, it was such a breath of fresh air to hear responsible and funny adults like tell the truth. And it meant a lot. It meant a
bless
lot.
you. Well, bless you. Now everything's great. Now
Yeah.
Zach is my favorite. Sorry, Steven.
That's okay. I'll get there. I'll get there.
He'll get
You'll
there. He's a
probably
second
pop
half
back right up.
podcaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really fun because Ken, I mean, I make fun of Ken endlessly, and as he does me, but he knows his shit, and he's a real doctor. His wife is a practicing doctor, so
Wow.
and he is up on that stuff, and it was really fascinating to talk to him about it. And we have to do it again because there's so much coming out now, especially with all the different vaccines, and with the dummies saying they're not going to take it and all that. I think when you follow the science and you have someone like Ken explaining it, who's so funny, then that's a good combo.
Absolutely. And you guys got the best guests. That was really fun to listen to.
Those were just, I mean, Ken knows half the people in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And then I know a few. I mean, obviously we got the community cast, but yeah, it's mostly just Ken texting his friends.
Was it his idea? Was he the driving force behind it?
We had danced around it before the pandemic. But he really is our before was and continues to be, but the busiest man in Hollywood. The guy, he shot The Masked Singer in England while he was shooting the one here, and he had stand-up dates, stand-up specials. I mean, the guy was everywhere. Now he's got another show he's hosting. He is as busy as it gets. So he didn't have time, and then everything stopped, and that's when all of a sudden we had time. And his wife came up with the darkest. It wasn't. We were like, what, do we call it Joel and Ken? And then we called it the darkest timeline because of the pandemic, and that was a Tran, his wife, that was a brilliant thought. I wish I had it.
We miss
it.
Awesome. We asked for questions from people, and we'll look at it later. But everyone was like, "When is the darkest timeline coming back?" People really love it, and you're missed in the podcast world.
I literally, Zach Pruitt will tell Ken. I'm going to talk to Ken today, and I'm going to tell him. And so yeah, we'll do it. Definitely. I will tell him.
Obviously, it's great that you guys are out doing things, and that's the reason why you haven't been able to do it. But I don't know. You're to prepare for this. I listened to so many podcasts that you've guested on, and you're a great podcast guest. I think you're really great.
Thank you so much.
Do you enjoy doing it?
Well, I'm an extreme extrovert, so I gain energy from socializing, unlike introverts who are exhausted after socializing. So I can talk endlessly about myself. It really is a wonderful trait. And so I like talking to people, and I like screwing around. So it's kind of the perfect format for me
works.
to be a dick on. It is a little more pressure.
Having your own podcast makes so much sense.
Yeah, no, there's more pressure because you have to prepare.
Sure.
But when we had Whoopi Goldberg on, and I loved hearing about her early career.
That was amazing
to hear. And just like, I was like, let's tell the story again about how you booked The Color Purple. You know? Let's just go over that.
There's going to be a lot of that vibe in our conversation today. You know,
yes. And I will tell you how I booked The Color Purple and was nominated for an Oscar. So,
well, I mean, it's where I know you from. So I'm excited.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm excited that they're doing Sister Act 3 and Whoopi Goldberg is starring in it. That's going to be amazing to see.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
She's the bee's knees as far as, I mean, I know a lot of actors, and I know a lot of talented actors, but then there are people like Whoopi, and you go, oh, you're different. And, you know, it's like, another good example is like Donald Glover. You know, he's just like, oh, you're on a different, you're of a different operating system. You just have, or like when I very luckily got to work with Robin Williams, and it was like, you're just unique.
That was something I was excited to talk to you about with the holidays coming up. We've both watched that movie recently, which I thought was really great. A Merry Friggin' Christmas. Thanks. I thought you and Robin and a bunch of people were really great and really funny in that movie. So that was a lot of fun.
There's some funny. I mean, that
Tim Heidecker was very funny.
Was great. Yeah. I wish the movie had done better. Obviously, but maybe like Community years later.
Years later.
Well, holiday movies, you know, it'll be in shuffle for holiday movies for forever. I'm sure people will be watching it 50 years from now.
I hope you're right, and if you're wrong, I will blame you.
Okay, that's fair. I'll try. I'll try to get the word out best as I can.
Yeah, no, but those, though, you know, it's those people. I can't. When I was on set with Robin, I was like, I'm just gonna sit next to you and talk to you forever. Yeah. And so Anyway, Ken could, you know, he got Dave Bautista to come on the show. Yeah. So that was, and I got Nathan Fillion, who, I mean, Ken also knows, but
you like to take credit for that one.
Yeah.
I'll take it. That was
We're pretty big Nathan for You fans over here, so we like that.
Right. Totally different show, but nothing to do with Nathan. But
do what I can.
Nathan Fillion. Steven.
Well done. I
know that. Nathan Fillion. Come on, that was a joke.
Okay.
Oh, yeah? Did you see me on The Rookie with Nathan Fillion?
I can't say that I watched The Rookie.
That's a good show.
Steven, it's Joel McHale. Tell him yes, you absolutely watched
every episode with you in it, especially, Joel.
What's your favorite episode specifically, and what I did, and exactly what I did?
It's the one, you know, where he's riding around in the car.
I was sarcastic.
And then they pull up, and he's like, "Hey, it's my first year on the job. I'm a rookie.
All right, yeah, you
what
did
can
it.
You
That's
do for
it.
me?"
That's it. He nailed it. That's it. Well done, Steven.
Thank you.
I like that.
I had fun watching some of your early stuff while we were getting ready for this. I watched your episode of Diagnosis Murder. That
Dear
was a
God,
treat.
where did you find it?
I don't think I should say it because people are listening to this and maybe I'll get arrested. But I procured I procured your episode of Diagnosis Murder.
That is really you were like, I went on the dark web.
Yeah,
and,
it's really hard to find for some
one of the
reason.
Silk
Dick Van
Road
Dyke
and-
wants it shredded. From
Yeah,
the
I never
internet.
even met Dick Van Dyke. That
Did
was
you
the
not?
tragedy. He wasn't in my scene. That was 2000. I did that.
Wow.
That in maybe it was early 2001. Yeah, no, it was early 2001. Yeah, Sandy Smolin is the director who has been a friend since the 90s, and he took pity on me and put me in that. So I'm very thankful. Thank you, Sandy Smolin.
It was
Nice
really
man.
funny just
Fan
how
of the show.
blissfully unaware you are of your wife's obvious affair. They're
Obvious.
they're across the table from each other with you there, talking about like, this is what I would do if I was having an affair with someone, and
And
it would
I'm
be
like-
so steamy. And you're like, sounds great, hun. It was really
Death,
good. Some of your best work,
murder.
I think.
Yeah, that was so like a Hollywood experience for me because it was one of my first jobs. And then like, you have to drive out to Malibu. You're shooting at a house in Malibu. I'm like, wow, this is so great. and I totally, we shot half the day and then we were done and I just jumped into the ocean. I was like, this is the greatest life. So I felt
bet.
I was like, oh, this is what Hollywood's like.
That makes me think like.
And then
Spid-
cut to me shooting in Van Nuys, which is very,
Well, Spider-Man 2, that was your first film role, wasn't it?
yeah.
That must have been huge. to
That
do a
was
blockbuster like that.
surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that Sam Raimi cast me was. I met him years later. He didn't remember, but I remembered. No, I don't think he. I don't know if he did.
Such a
Maybe he
huge
did.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah. That was really. I was couldn't believe it. I didn't have an agent at that point. I had
Wow.
my friend
Wow.
Jason Burns was my manager he's my high school friend, and
That's awesome. That's insane.
yeah, that he got me the audition was pretty shocking. And that casting director brought me in for a couple after that I didn't book, but still, no. But I couldn't believe I was on set. Couldn't believe it was like Rosemary Harris, Tobey Maguire, and
That's awesome.
it was really cool. I booked the Soup a year or the same like year that came out. So I was like, oh, it's beginning to people are gonna hire
Noticing.
me. Thank
That's
God I
huge.
don't have to move back
Yeah.
to Seattle. Although
It-
it's my favorite city.
And the Soup seems like just a dream job.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
To just have to talk in front of a green screen and crack wise and do it for 12 years and get to see like the media shift and like presidencies shift and get to do a take on all of it. I also, same website, I got Diagnosis Murder. I procured a few episodes of The Soup from like 2008. And it was
What
so
is
crazy
this?
to. It's all Joel McHale stuff. It was so crazy to
Great. Jeez,
watch
is it joelmchale.com? What is
you
it?
talking about like Obama as a senator and making riffs
Yeah.
on that. Or it was
Yeah.
like a really cool time capsule.
Wow.
I bet it was so much
think
fun.
you just went on YouTube, but okay, I think
They don't have the full episodes on YouTube. They don't have the
Right.
good stuff on YouTube.
No, because we couldn't use the clips past a week because we didn't pay for any clips because
Sure.
you can use it.
Yeah.
You can use a clip for a week if that counts as a news show. You can use anything for a week, and that so I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever be able to go back and watch. I don't know if they exist anywhere.
You're not
but-
given as a part of it. You're not given hard drives with copies of it to look back on.
The
Oh,
old
fuck.
film reel you can hook up. and-
Yeah, no, that does not exist anywhere, and I don't know who the hell would want to go back and watch them. But yeah,
It
those
was
are the
funny.
days.
It made us laugh, and I have memories of being way too young to know anything that you were talking about.
Yeah,
but
how old were you guys in 2006?
I was telling Zach, I've seen probably much more Soup than I have Community because my mom and I used to watch it. Like,
Huh.
Don't say so
on
much more. We do host a
Facebook.
podcast about Community.
Well,
he has seen
you know.
Community.
some of it. But
I would love that there's a podcast about Community where they're like, well, what did you think of episode 6 in season 5? You're like, I haven't seen it.
yeah, not
Steven
quite there
hasn't
yet.
seen the
I don't know.
series
That
finale
seems
I've not
yet.
seen
fine.
the series
It seems
finale.
like it was
Never seen
okay.
it.
He hasn't seen the last episode, which is something that we're looking forward to when we get to
Yeah.
season 6 for him to have like fresh opinions on it. So don't spoil
So
it.
you literally not have seen it.
I have literally not seen the last episode.
And you
I-
host a podcast about it.
I
We
sure
go
do.
episode by episode. So we're going through the journey. So there's a little
But
bit.
you haven't seen it beforehand, Steven. You're
Not the
going-
series finale.
I've seen almost all of the show. There's probably like maybe 2 or 3 episodes I haven't seen.
Why?
It's a good
Yeah,
question,
why?
Joel. We've never talked about that.
Why haven't you seen the finale? I mean, I get there's some episodes that, you know, like season 4 is rough, but or less.
And now
less
that I've
community
seen,
than-
it's
I don't know. That is funny because he definitely watched some of season 6 because we were still friends in
I've
high
seen-
school. I think we were seniors in high school
I just
during
got
season 6.
got busy, got really
And
into the trumpet
some-
for a little while.
Somehow
I
he
got
busy,
stopped.
and then I
jazz.
started a podcast about the show.
Yeah.
I didn't bother. Yeah, it was busy.
You know,
We'll get there, maybe.
The early mid 2010s are a real blur. You know,
Oh yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
yeah. Crazy.
I've seen
times.
all of Parks and Rec, but you know,
Oh,
community.
Sure. He
Where
could
I
tell you
host a
anything about
podcast
The
about it.
Office.
I can. We got into a
Why,
pretty
why
heated,
not just
heated
do a
debate.
podcast about The Office?
Well, because it's
Eh.
not as.
It's kind of it's been done. It's been done. But I don't know if there's like 15 community podcasts and they're all run by excellent people who really know what they're doing, and it's really
And
cool. It's
there's
a really
us.
everyone always says how the community fandom is like the least toxic of any fandom. We just all get along and help each
That's
other out.
good.
Yeah.
I'll take that. No, I always say we have the best, smartest, strongest, and tall. Even you, Zach. We have the best fans on the planet. I can't believe believe me, I really can't believe the good fortune because they take it seriously. It's great. They
Yeah.
love it.
I feel like that's true and not true though, because you definitely knew how good it was. I'm sure you had to know that eventually someone was going to find it and run with it. That it wasn't just a shot in the dark. I feel like I just know you were such a champion for the show and always one of the ones running to get it going, running to get Dan Harmon back. Is this like the good happy ending now that everyone's a big fan of it?
Yeah, no, believe me, I fought for the show because I knew the show was good, and when we were on set, I was like, guys, we knew it it was funny, and so that's more rare than you think. It's
I'm
pretty,
sure.
It's exceptional. I will say that that it was like every script was great. The 4th season was rough. It wasn't the same, but then we got Dan back, and that was great. So there is a vindication now that it does well on Netflix, and I guess it's on.
Yeah.
It's on now.
It's on everything now. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is great, and that is like really cool, and it is a vindication because every season we were told like, "Hey, can this be the series finale as well as the finale?" And so that was no fun. But it also, you know, like we were on a bad time slot at 8:00, and we were up against The Big Bang Theory, so we just thought look, we were in a luxurious position because we're series regulars on a television show, but on what spectrum where you're entering that, or when you're in that spectrum where you've got like Modern Family came out the same year we did and was a monster, right?
Wow.
And Glee came out and they took, you know, like, these shows were so popular and we were just like this little fighting I don't know, a little fighter fighting.
Yeah, but like, which one of those shows are people still picking apart in podcasting 10 years later? You know,
yeah, shocker.
Yeah.
Shocking. I mean, I can't believe it. And it's so great. I mean, on it now with a guy that hasn't even seen it. It's great.
It's
we'll get
beautiful.
there.
One day.
No, hey, watching the finale for the first time will be a cool podcast. I think it really,
Yeah.
I think it really will. I love that episode.
I do too.
So there is definitely vindication, and I'm so glad that I'm getting paid for it. Oh wait, I haven't received anything.
I think it's so interesting about how you got Community. It was Dan Harmon's girlfriend saw you on The Soup and was like, "That's the guy." Is that the true story?
Yeah, that's exactly.
That's
it.
awesome.
Erin
That's
Hill,
insane.
His old girlfriend.
Then I hear you talk about how you didn't get it, but the creatives wanted you to be the guy. Was there another guy?
The Russos and Dan.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of guys, and the Russos and Dan, they were pushing for me, and they didn't. I did the audition. When you test for a pilot, it's very awkward, and it is not the way anybody should ever do it, but it's the way it's done, which is you perform in people's offices. Like all the executives get in an office and watch you perform, which is really awkward, especially if it doesn't go well. So they were like, all right, so they didn't like it. And I was like, oh,
Just poured your entire soul out. And
and then I did it on tape, and they were like, "Okay, we like it," and that was
like, "Oh, that's better."
Did you do? Was it the speech at the end of the pilot? Was that what they had you do?
It was I did that, and I did a couple scenes with different people, with different women who were up for other roles, and because like Gillian, I tested with Gillian, and she's amazing, and but she didn't find out she was a series regular until she sat down at the table read.
Wow,
that's when they decided to tell her, which was really nice of her, nice of them. But it's
intense.
It's very intense, especially now. When I'm on the other side of it, once you're kind of a veteran of it, you kind of get used to it. But at the beginning, man, when you're a young actor, it's just kind of like, all right, go in there and just nail it in front of a bunch of people that could, in theory, make you very rich. You're like, what? Like it's really weird because you sign all these contracts like 7 years, and this is what you're being. It's very intimidating. So I didn't get it, and then I put myself on. Then they taped it, and they're like, okay, now he got it. So, and I always thought pilots usually got picked up, and that is definitely not the case. They almost always don't. And so Community was again fortunate in that way, and that we got out of our first season and got to our second.
Yeah. Well, speaking of pilots didn't get picked up, you did a pilot for a show that I'm a fan of, the IT Crowd, when they tried to bring that to the U.S. And I was sad that didn't catch on because I like that show. But
it was actually picked up, and then
really
switched presidents in the summertime before we were going to shoot.
Oh no!
And then he came in and canceled it.
Oh no, that sucks.
Yeah, and then I hated that guy. And then that same guy picked up Community. So I was like, oh, now I feel terrible. That all worked out. But with the IT Crowd, I got to meet and became friends with Richard Ayoade, who's a genius.
He's fantastic. Yeah.
And he's so funny, and his books are so great. And so I count myself as like lucky that I got to do that. Yeah, it was really fun to make that show. I wish it had gone. At the time, you're like, oh, I was devastated, but
yeah.
But it was really
worked
cool.
out.
I am so sorry, Joel. I have to take like 2 seconds because
I have another interview 4 minutes ago. So
really, is this true?
Yes. Yeah, I only have half an hour.
Okay, well then that's fine. Well then let's
ask me the question you were going to ask me. I didn't realize I was going over.
Well, no, that's okay. We'll start over because I totally forgot to purchase Zoom Pro, so we've only got 8 minutes on the ticker anyway. So we'll get past it way faster.
Well, there you go.
That.
This works out great. I forgot to purchase Zoom Pro. This is the best excuse I've ever heard.
Our first celebrity interview.
Episode.
You're more than welcome to give us any tips you would like.
The almost interview with Joel McHale.
How about purchase Zoom Pro?
That sounds great.
And make your apartment look less terrifying.
I'll remember that. I feel like getting you to insult me though is a feeling of connection. I like that more than you telling me I'm a nice person. That means we can
you
get
don't
along.
Look like you have tuberculosis from that weird blue glow all over your face. So. Yeah,
that's just
great.
Indiana. That's just Indiana.
You. It's the glow of the big city
of
lights
Chicago.
On Joel.
It's the Wrigley Field coming in. Okay, guys, I gotta go.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you. Let's do it again.
Thank you, please. It was so great to talk to you. It was so great. You've done so much good stuff. Everyone needs to watch your New Year's special, and Card Sharks is back January 17th.
January, yes. And then watch Stargirl because I'm not in a lot of episodes, but I love the show.
Great. So, well, thank you so much for chatting with us. Go do your other stuff. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
God bless Steven and Captain Fantastic.
Thank you.
See you later,
Joel.
guys.
Bye, Joel.
Adieu.
That was it. We just talked to Joel McHale. Really what that was, more than even an interview, was we just hung out with Joel McHale and waxed poetic for 30 minutes, didn't we?
That was by far the weirdest sex line I've ever called, but I think I'm more satisfied than ever before.
That's great. That's great. Now, let's talk a little bit about what just happened because, okay, the interview starts great. Joel is so nice and charismatic and funny and generous with his time, and you can tell that he really just loves to be doing something, and I think that's really great. And we're all talking. We're getting along really well. Steven and I have done a lot of prep work for this interview. We've been watching a lot of stuff that he's been in. We've been talking a lot about it. I've been listening to so many podcasts that he was on. I was really prepared to talk to him for another half hour.
Yeah, we prepared for a whole hour.
All of this, and we'll dive into the whole story, I guess. Who cares? If you were just here for the interview, you've already turned it off. If you're here to hang out with me and Steven, hey, what's up? Let's get weird.
What's cracking?
This all happened because for doodaloo, remember back in the day, episode 11, when we spent 7 minutes with Joel McHale. I got to chat with him during the Darkest Timeline podcast, a live event, and afterwards as part of a VIP experience that, full discretion, I had to pay for. After that, I got to chat with him, was only promised 2.5 minutes, but got to chat with him for a full 7 minutes. He really lit up when I told him about the podcast and ended it saying, I'll totally come do your podcast sometime. Fast forward to the beginning of December, and I just kind of felt like it was time to shoot my shot. I always thought he probably just said that to be a nice guy, and I would have totally respected that if that's what it was. But I sent his publicist an email, and it was early in December, and I just said, hey, he said he would do this. If you would like to do it, we'd love it. Didn't expect anything back. And then 3 weeks later, we get an email that says, this sounds great. Joel would love to do this. Does this day or this day work? And I work for DoorDash. I was in the Wendy's drive-thru line picking up someone's food, and I immediately called Steven and was able to say, we're interviewing Joel McHale this week. So when I called you, we never call each other. We just text each other.
No, I was like, oh, I hope everything's okay.
Yeah, is that what you
I
thought?
I was like in the middle of like playing a video game and something. I was like, oh, it's Zach. What's up? And so I like answered, and I just always assume if somebody calls me, something's wrong.
Sure.
So I was just excited as hell. I was giddy. I was, super, super thrilled.
This was about 5 days ago before today when we recorded and chatted with him. And I was emailing back and forth with the publicist, nailing down a time and a day. They asked us how long we would like, and I said an hour would be great. Less would be fine if he needs to do other things, and more would be fine if he wants to chat. And the only correspondence I got was like, okay, that's great. Give us the Zoom link, we'll do it. So we were under the impression that we were going to get a full hour with Joel. And I think that probably shows that I was just at the point where I was going to say, like, okay, let's start talking through Community.
I know, we were about to actually get to
talk about
stuff.
I wanted to take it season by season, ask him about what was going on the set during seasons 4, 5, and 6. I really wanted to dig deep into some of that, or just see if we could get some asides from him. We both watched A Stupid and Futile Gesture, the film where he plays Chevy Chase, and we were really excited to talk to him about that, and all we got was a really short mention of it at one point. Mm-hmm. And worst of all, we were so excited to announce this, and we took questions from people, and I was so excited to pick a good number of the best questions and spend the last 5 to 8 minutes of the interview rapid fire doing that. And we literally didn't get to, because 30 minutes into the interview, I realized all this prep work I've been doing has been basically done for nothing, because the one thing I didn't do was pay for Zoom Pro. So our 3-person Zoom call was going to be cut off at 40 minutes. And we had 8 minutes left, and it was ticking down, and Steven was getting Joel talking about the IT crowd, and I was real quick trying to pull out my wallet and pay for Zoom Pro on the down low. And I was also, I just real quick said, hey, Joel, I'm sorry, I'll need a second, because I was going to try to buy it really quick to facilitate the rest of the interview. And then Joel was like, I have another interview that I was supposed to do 4 minutes ago. And even though it's not exactly what we planned, I think that is about the most You Can't Disappoint a Podcast thing ever. We did it, guys. It literally is.
We managed to somehow take a bog standard interview and insert our brand of chaos into it. So you're welcome.
Think so. However, I do think we talked about some cool stuff, especially the early stuff in his career, because we were at the first half of the conversation. And he was really funny. He was really personable. And he really treated us like people.
Well, and we also got, at least Joel's very evident thoughts on season 4.
Yeah, I was planning on having a conversation about season 4, and we didn't even have to bring it up. He was
No,
just,
he's
I
like,
was
yeah,
so
that shit's
excited to
ass.
ask him. You know, we've talked in the past about that we think there's like a Community Mount Rushmore of episodes, like the 4 greatest episodes of Community that could be etched in stone. I was so excited to get his opinion on that. I do feel like, I mean, now Joel McHale is such a kind gentleman that you would never know if it was otherwise, but I would say he seemed to be enjoying the conversation we were having.
Yeah.
So maybe the door's open, and I also think this opens the door to so many other things.
Yeah.
Because now we can get like Donald. We'll have Donald on all the time.
Yeah.
Chevy.
As soon as he reactivates his socials, we are there.
Chevy, we did an interview with, but there was nothing we could use.
Yeah, it was so vulgar that we actually got emails from Apple and Samsung respectively about what was on our phones. It had to be stricken. So
Oh man. So what I would like to do now is both a thank you and kind of a you to all the people who so kindly sent in questions. The ones that I've chosen that we didn't get to ask for Joel, I think Steven and I are going to ask each other them and see if we can answer them on Joel's behalf.
Let's just alternate.
I feel like we've really grown to know the man. I feel like now we can channel him. So yeah, let's do this. Do you want to ask first? Do you want me to ask first?
I'll ask first. Now that you've gotten a chance to play a superhero, if you could play a character in the Star Wars universe, what would you want to play, Joel?
This interview is over. Thank you. But no, I'm super attractive and rugged and have facial hair, so I should have been the part that Timothy Olyphant played in the season 2 premiere of The Mandalorian.
That's fair. That's fair. Nicely
I don't
done.
think he would have
Joel.
said that, but
No, I think he'd play Han. I think he'd say Han Solo. But
yeah. Have you filmed any more of Stargirl? We kind of heard on this one.
yeah, no.
He did
But you
say
should
that
watch
he
it.
has. He said
Well,
that
he
he
said-
has.
Well, I thought he was just talking about filming it initially.
Maybe. I'm not sure. I think he might have been talking. I think the first season was pre-pandemic, and now he's talking about.
Oh,
going
then
back
yeah,
and
there
doing
is more
something
Stargirl
post-pandemic.
coming out, and he said you should watch it. So yeah, watch it.
Did you notice Joel's Zoom display name that he made?
Wait, did he change it?
Did you not see it? Did I only see it? This is really funny. It
What
was a
was
good
it?
bit. So Steven and I got on the call like a half hour before Joel was supposed to. And by the last 10 minutes, we had said all this pre-stuff that we had to say. So we were just kind of looking at the clock and waiting for when
Yeah.
Joel McHale was going to pop into the waiting room. And Sarah McHale popped up, which is his wife's name. So I was like, Joel's wife? Which is really wholesome. I bet he's like using her iPad or something.
Yeah.
And so we brought that up, and I called it. And this was unrecorded because we missed the first part of our conversation. If I knew we were only talking to him for 30 minutes, I would have been recording already. He did a bit where I was like, "Oh, your wife's name popped up, and I thought we were going to talk to your wife." And he changed his display name to Zachary Baker.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Every time he said my first and last name like 4 times.
Yeah.
And that was really nice. Take that, everyone that was mean to me. I may still not be accomplishing anything in life, but how many f***ing celebrities have you talked to today, huh?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm channeling Joel again. What's the next question?
What do you value most in yourself?
I don't think he'd give a genuine response to that. I don't know. I can't. It would have been so nice to get his opinion on this. I'm going to say value most in myself, my natural, non-receding hairline.
There we go. 100% natural. God-given. Okay.
Okay, so Joel, when's the Darkest Timeline coming back?
Very soon, actually. I'm gonna reach out to Ken right now. And
Yeah, did you
get it
guys
soon.
hear that? He literally said because
literally said-
he's talking to Ken about it. What a kind man.
Right?
He's so good at being like, the thing you just said was good. You know, he's a good dude. I'm glad to be
Yeah.
channeling him right now. Joel, do you have a favorite Community episode in terms of writing, or a favorite episode in terms of your performance?
I do, actually. I think in terms of writing, the ones that have me in them the most are obviously the best. But I think anything
It's all
that,
of
the
You're in every one.
well, that has me the most.
Yeah.
I count my seconds on screen, and there's a few that I have a few more seconds than others. So those are the best ones. But in terms of my own performance, I really think that really just anyone that I get to give a winger speech in is really a shining one
Can't
for me.
even say the character
more
that
lines.
you played for 6 years last name without screwing up, Joel. Huh?
Yeah, I play a lot of roles.
Okay, great answer, Joel. Thanks for coming on the show, man.
What was your favorite cartoon from your childhood, Joel?
Well, I'm 100 years old, so they didn't really have cartoons that time, but there's some programs etched on the side of a cave that I really enjoyed growing up. I don't know that they had a title, though.
That's fair.
What's your favorite alcoholic beverage and your favorite non-alcoholic beverage?
I only drink Ryan Reynolds brand gin.
Okay.
And in terms of non-alcoholic, sometimes I will drink some diet mixer or some orange mixer, I guess.
Just the mixer? That's so weird, Joel. I don't get that.
It's straight mixer, you know. Would you ever
I'm
go
Joel
on a
now.
show?
Come on.
Would you ever go on a show like Survivor or Big Brother?
I feel like, especially since Joel hosted The Soup for 12 years, I bet he'll never go on a reality show like that, even though I think he really enjoys hosting and doing things like like award shows and game shows.
I would love to see him,
on either of
host
those
another
shows.
show like
would
that.
be really fun to watch him on.
He
I
would
think
be
he'd
hilarious.
Be really good on Survivor, and Big Brother's done Celebrity Big Brother.
I think he would actually do pretty well in Celebrity Big Brother because he's likable. And
they do it, yeah. If he'd be willing to go and take it seriously, and the celebrities that have been on the U.S. Celebrity Big Brother do, and they do it in 2 weeks instead of the 3 months that regular Big Brother does, and I'm sure they pay them a good penny. But also, I think, I don't know, maybe if things had gone differently in his career, maybe he would have done something like that. But now I think he's above that point.
Yeah,
I think maybe
totally.
if the stuff he's been doing since Community, he's become such a go-to face to have on a show, to have on the panel of celebrities. He's so funny and likable. I think he's streets ahead of stuff like that, as much as I'd like to see it.
Hey,
Joel, what video games are you playing?
now I really did want to talk to him about this because I know he plays video games and there's some big ones that have come out. So I like to think in my heart of hearts that he's been playing some Cyberpunk. Me and my good friend Keanu Reeves, worked on that project, and just happy to see him out in the video game sphere. What's your Starbucks order, Joel? Oh, this is good. You better get this.
Nothing but a cup full of the protein powder.
I do lines off
And an
off
egg
the,
that I've brought from home. The Joel McHale diet. Maybe I should try that. Joel, of all of the great hosting experiences you've had, what was the best and what was the worst? As Steven looks up what has Joel McHale hosted.
I think my favorite hosting was definitely the White House Correspondents' Dinner. I think that counts. That was a good hosting thing.
I really wanted to talk to him about that, and we didn't get to.
And my worst hosting was definitely my kid's 5th birthday party. That shit was lame.
Nice.
Thank you. If your Community castmates were cuts of meat, what would they be?
I wanted to ask him about this because Joel's always posting some high-quality meats on his Instagram page, and I wanted to ask him, honestly, the conversation was really free-flowing, and I went with that, and that was good. I meant to ask him when he was talking about Christmas, because he cooks so much, if he was, preparing food, he was preparing for his family. So I'm going to say Chevy Chase is definitely Spam.
I was gonna say jerky.
Okay. Let's see. Jim Rash is duck. Allison Brie is venison. Yvette Nicole Brown is a honey glazed ham.
Oh, nice.
Who else? Gillian Jacobs is one of the finest USDA prime sirloins I've ever laid my eyes on.
Fair.
Of course, I'm Wagyu beef. I'm the highest grade quality. And who else is there?
There's Donald Glover and Danny Pudi. Donald Glover should be very obvious.
What is it?
T-Bone!
Oh, sure, yeah. T-Bone. Okay, whatever. Danny Pudi is a vegetarian, so he's... I don't know if he's a vegetarian or not. So
halal.
So he's a bushel of lettuce. Kim Jong, of course, is... What's the...
Kung Pao chicken?
Kim Jong is barnacles that have been mistaken for clams.
Nice.
I'm Joel McHale. Thank you.
And that concludes our interview with Joel McHale. Thank you for being on the show.
Can you imagine what we would have done with those extra 30 minutes?
Wow.
But I do
Hey,
kind
he
of.
said that my anime shit was cool. That's all I care
I'll be
about.
honest. I did not hear that. I
He
did not
said
hear
the
him
cool
say
anime
that.
stuff.
Yeah,
hope
but
it's when we were
he's
recording.
probably saying that because he's got like a 15-year-old son, and I don't know. Fine, have your moment. Joel thinks you're cool. He did say I was his favorite, and then never changed his mind on it, as far as I'm aware.
If I had had the full hour, I would have gotten to sway him.
I believe it.
I was charging up my pitch.
Yeah, I wish we had more time to talk to him, but I think how it went down was so in tune for our show, and it was such a cool opportunity. Thank you so much to Joel McHale, who literally has nothing to gain by doing this with us other than doing us a huge favor.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. So please return the favor by watching him on Card Sharks, which I believe is coming back on January 17th.
Stargirl.
Stargirl is great. I know that he has a movie coming out called Happily that's been shelved since the pandemic and was finally given a release date. It's going to be out in March, I believe.
He didn't say the title. Is that the movie with Christian Bale and Vince Vaughn?
I don't know. It sounded like maybe it was something that was more like in the works.
Yeah, I really want to see that because I love Christian Bale and Vince Vaughn, respectively.
I can tell that Joel really likes to talk about nice, famous people.
Yeah, which is nice. I like that. That's nice.
He really does. Him being, like, really seeming genuinely kind restores my faith in a lot of performers.
Yeah,
he seems very aware of his privilege and of his reach, and he seems like one of the least problematic celebrities ever. I think it's really great. Good on Joel McHale. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Let's see. Happily does not have any of those people in it, but it does have Paul Scheer, who Steven met on the streets of Chicago
I did meet
once.
Paul Scheer on the streets of Chicago once.
Natalie Morales is in it. No, I don't see anything on Wikipedia about it. Maybe his IMDb does. So maybe that's an exclusive.
Yeah. Hey, you heard it here first, folks.
Joel McHale is going to be in a movie.
Yeah.
Guess which one? Let's see if I can find anything on this.
Seems like Dax Shepard was at the least around set. Maybe he's got his toes in the pot.
He did talk about Dax Shepard, and Joel McHale's great on so many podcasts, Dax Shepard's being one of them. Yeah. So many things that I wanted to talk to him about that I didn't is Joel is dyslexic, and he didn't know it until adulthood when his children were diagnosed with it. And I wanted to ask him, like, if he had ever, now I forgot what I was going to say now. What was I saying?
Was it about, like, reading scripts or anything?
Yeah, if it's like helped him
auditioning.
come up with new ways to help his I don't know. Whatever. It's never gonna happen, and now we'll never know. Let's see. He is in a lot of stuff coming up. There's a TV series called Short Adam. There is a film called Queen Pins that stars Vince Vaughn, Kristen Bell, Stephen Root, Jack McBrayer, Mark Evan Jackson, Paul Rust.
Oh, we're a couple of Paul Rust fans over here.
Yes, and the description is a pair of housewives create a $40 million coupon scam. That sounds interesting.
I rock with that.
What else does he have coming up? Oh, okay, so here's a question. He is going to be a voice in Star Wars Detours, an upcoming Star Wars Disney Plus show. He's going to be in a TV series called Black Box, which he is the lead in. 4 teenagers stumble upon the wreckage of a crashed time machine and are thrust into the middle of a conspiracy that threatens to unhinge time itself. That sounds interesting, too.
Yeah.
If I see Joel McHale starring in a show that's going to be funny, I'll probably watch it.
Absolutely.
He's also got a movie coming out called Treat Street, I believe this is a film, and a TV show called Quantum and Woody. He's got all kinds of stuff going on. He's a busy man. And Card Sharks, January 17th. Check out everything Joel McHale does, because I know if I didn't now, his kindness has convinced me. If I didn't before, his kindness has convinced me that I'm going to do it now.
Yeah, absolutely. That was awesome. So happy we got to do that.
Yeah, very, very happy. And I think it's the beginning, because this is our first podcast now of 2021.
Yeah.
Which is a great way to start the year. I think 2021 is poised to be a choice year for You Can't Disappoint a Podcast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't wait to hopefully all the new ears that find us because of this, I can't wait to not disappoint you throughout the year. We've got a lot of fun stuff in the works. I know we mentioned at the beginning of this episode we have some cool special things we're going to be doing, but I'm excited to keep going on this ride with you,
But we're
buddy.
starting the year with one of the most special things we could possibly have. We've got a lot of fun stuff coming up. The Patreon is going to be a good way for us to take this forward. So if you want to move forward with us, hop on board, and we're coming up with all kinds of cool stuff to make it worth your while. We'll be giving more details about that every week. And be sure to hang out with us if you are able on Thursday, January 7th at 12 p.m. No, 12:30. Have I been saying 12?
You said 12:30 the first time and 12 the second time. Those are the only two times you've mentioned it.
Is it 12:30?
12:30, yeah.
12:30 Eastern. I'll fix that in editing. It'll be seamless. 12:30 Eastern, Thursday, January 7th, the first You Can't Disagree show with me, Steven, and Steven's mother, Mary. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Exactly. And if you like that, then you're going to like our Patreon.
Yes,
and the more people like our Patreon,
so much more. Steven and I are both going to have our own podcasts. I've been thinking, I have a lot of ideas that I'd like to talk to you about some sideways stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to get stuff early. And most importantly, You Can't Disagree show starts whenever, January 7th at 12:30, and it'll be free every Thursday in January. So come hang out with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. And please give us money.
Yep, because more Patreon means for you guys is more giveaways, more content, and more ways to be disappointed. So come aboard.
If we had another 30 minutes with Joel, I think I would have asked him for some money. He was ragging on my apartment pretty bad.
Yeah, he was. He was saying a stimulus. All right, big pockets.
Mr. Talk Soup, how about $20 and this blue haze of tuberculosis will be gone. I think that wraps things up. And most unfortunately, I was really looking forward to being able to say with him from inside the Dreamatorium, Black Lives Matter, I'm Zach.
I'm Steven.
And it would have been
Joel
and
McHale.
He's Joel,
yeah.
But now we'll never know. But I'm not doubting on this at all. It was such an amazing experience. Thank you for hopping on to listen to this, whether it's your first time or you've been here since the beginning. Thanks as always to our community, Papa Bear at Communities on Twitter. I am 100% positive that if we hadn't made the connections that Communities helped us make, we wouldn't be reaching this far and we wouldn't have spoken with Jeff Winger today. So
absolutely.
Thank you for everyone who's helped us get to this point. And it's only downhill from here. Let's see what's next. Do you have any
thanks
last
guys
words?
for listening.
Any last
thanks,
words for these
Joel.
people that'll soon be customers? We've got to be businessmen now.
I did a business. Thank you guys for listening. We do it all for you and for ourselves. So thank you.
I was gonna say I kind of do it for myself.
Yeah,
but I really like that people are on board.
Yeah, team. You Can't Diss a Pod.
Shout out to everyone who's helped us get this far. Shout out to everyone who asked a question for Joel that we weren't able to get to. And I just would like to really quickly close this out by bringing attention to, there's been a Twitter beef going on between us and Dom and Andre in the morning of, if you just listen to our podcast, which I highly recommend you do, they were a part of our season 1 post-finale special. And we've been getting along, we've been not so getting along well on Twitter. We've been really
There's a lot of beef.
Yeah, a lot of gripes, a lot of beef. It's gone too far, and I feel like it's time to end it here and now by saying, we just talked to Joel McHale, so you guys.
Balls in your court, homie.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll be back next week with Messianic Myths and Ancient Peoples. Thanks to Joel McHale. Thanks, Steven. Thanks, everybody. Thanks to his publicist that made it all happen.
God bless us, everyone.
God
Merry
bless
Christmas.
you, everyone. Where's the Tylenol? Yeah? We'll see you guys next week.
Bye,
Thanks for hanging out.
guys.